party chief met with Ho Chi Minh's campaign veterans. And Prime Minister urges completions of key Mekong Delta transport projects. Hello, and you're watching Today Headlines. Party General Secretary Theo met with revolutionary veterans, meritorious individuals, and policy beneficiary families on Monday morning to commemorate the 50th anniversary of the liberation of the South and national reunification. At the gathering, the party chief expressed profound gratitude and highlighted the enduring legacies of revolutionary veterans, former soldiers, youth volunteers, and self-defense militias who fought across various battlefields and fronts. He commended their resilience and sacrifices during the challenging resistance, especially in the South, which contributed significantly to national reunification. Party General Secretary Theo on Monday met with senior military commanders, heroes of the People's Armed Forces, intelligence officers, Saigon commandos, guerrilla forces, former youth volunteers, and frontline workers who joined the Ho Chi Minh campaign. During the meeting, the party leader emphasized that they represent noble symbols of revolutionary heroism, embodying a heroic generation of a heroic nation. He emphasized that the historic victory of the liberation of the South and national reunification was built on a series of hard-fought battles. Party General Secretary Theo noted that maintaining peace, stability, security, and order for development is a strategic priority today. The party chief affirmed that the country will continue to inherit and uphold the traditions of previous generations and pursue new achievements in the future. Prime Minister Pham Minh Chinh and the National Assembly delegation from Cần Thơ City met with representatives from local businesses, business associations, and entrepreneurs on Monday, ahead of the 9th National Assembly sessions. The attendees praised this year's socio-economic achievements, which have outpaced 2024 figures in most areas. They also raised concerns about credit access, preferential loans, and policies related to industrial parks and social housing development. In response, Prime Minister Pham Minh Chinh encouraged businesses and entrepreneurs to continue embracing the bold, rapid approach of the historic Ho Chi Minh campaign to drive business and national development. Regarding the U.S. tariff issue, the Prime Minister assured that the government is implementing proactive measures based on balanced interests and risk sharing. Additionally, he revealed that the government is working on measures to improve access to capital and will present policies for social housing development at the upcoming National Assembly session. After inspecting the progress of the Cần Thơ-Cà Mau Expressway, Prime Minister Pham Minh Chinh on Monday in Cần Thơ City chaired a meeting with party committee secretaries and chairs of provinces and cities from the South and Mekong Delta regions to discuss key transport projects in southern Vietnam. More to follow.
Prime Minister Pham Minh Chinh praised the efforts of ministries, sectors and localities in implementing transport infrastructure projects in the Mekong Delta. To maintain progress and quality, he directed the Ministry of Construction to complete guidance next week on applying science and technology to shorten loading and construction times. The Prime Minister also instructed the Ministry of Agriculture and Environment to urgently issue guidelines for relocating excess sand to other projects and transferring inactive quarries for further use. He confirmed that the Ministry of Finance and relevant agencies would ensure sufficient capital allocation. Finally, he emphasized several key lessons learned thus far.
The entire political system must be engaged. Solidarity in leadership and direction should be fostered, with project units encouraged to be self-reliant. Ministries must coordinate with localities, regularly inspecting, motivating and rewarding progress. Difficulties should be addressed promptly within the appropriate authority.
The Prime Minister outlined key infrastructure goals, including the completion of 600 kilometers of expressways by the end of this term and at least 1,300 kilometers by 2030. Additionally, Phú Quốc, Cà Mau and Rạch Giá airports will be expanded, with localities urged to carry out site clearance urgently. Specific tasks for major port projects like Cái Cui, Trần Đề and Hòn Khoai were also assigned. For waterways, provinces were required to review and manage projects within their authority. Regarding railways, the Ho Chi Minh City-Cần Thơ Expressway is set for completion by 2027 and the Cần Thơ-Cà Mau route by 2028. The Prime Minister also stated that follow-up working sessions will be held to address issues like subsidence, landslides, drought, salinity, human resource training and healthcare development in the Mekong Delta.
Chairman of the National Assembly Trần Thanh Mẫn hosted a reception in Hanoi on Monday for Vice President of Laos National Assembly Suvan Luongbumin, who is on a working visit to Vietnam. National Assembly Chairman Trần Thanh Mẫn praised Laos' effort to streamline its administrative systems and proposed stronger coordination to supervise the implementation of high-level agreements. He also called for greater experience sharing, joint surveys, and enhanced cooperation between border committees and localities. Vice President Luong Bun Min affirmed his commitment to close coordination with Vietnam, particularly in overseeing investment projects. Coming up next in Today Headlines, establishment of National Housing Development Fund. And former soldier publishes her comrade stories. This afternoon, Deputy Prime Minister Hồ Đức Phước met with ministries and branches to study the establishment of Housing Development Fund. The Deputy Prime Minister stated that the Housing Development Fund is to develop social housings and housing for workers and peoples under 35 years old to rent or buy houses. This is a state fund outside the budget, not overlapping with the task of state budget expenditure. The fund sources are also obtained from voluntary investor contributions, revenue from the 20% land funds for social housing constructions in commercial housing projects, according to regulations and other legal sources. National Housing Development Fund has two management tiers. At the ceremony marking World Creativity and Innovation Day 2025 on Monday, Minister of Science and Technology MEKONG announced that the Politburo has tasked the ministry with drafting a national startup initiative. The main goal is to encourage everyone to think creatively and make innovation a normal part of daily life. The minister emphasized that practical activity must drift to the digital environment for innovation to become widespread. In this space, ideas can be realized more rapidly. A United Nations representative in Vietnam praised the issuance of Resolution 57 by the Politburo and the government's pledge to allocate 3% of national budget to science, technology, innovation, and digital transformations, highlighting Vietnam's strong commitment to progress in these areas. Those in Hanoi this week can watch free movies at the Ngọc Khánh Cinema, Ba Đình District. The Vietnam Film Days will bring you documentary films about the liberation of the South and the country reunification, not only to promote films about the resistance period, such as The Winning Spring, Saigon Special Forces, and The White Field, but also to affirm the values and revolutionary achievements of the nation. In Ho Chi Minh City, you can visit Bạch Đằng Raft to sightsee and capture moments that can only be seen on this special April 30th holiday. From the field guns you have only heard about or seen in books to the red color of the fluttering national flag, images of the national spirit seem to light up in the city's heart. For today's generations to enjoy peace, generations of forefathers had to shed their blood for the nation's independence and freedom, including soldiers who once operated in the students' movement in Saigon Zadig. They faced countless near-death experiences under the brutal torture of the enemy, yet never wavered for even a second. Now, Từ Liêm, one of the former soldiers, remained devoted to bridging the present with history through the pages of books written in honor of her fallen comrades.
Overwhelmed with emotion as he read the book gifted by his former commander, Đinh Bùi Chu felt like he was reliving the moments of anticipation for victory.
Thanks to the book, I can recall my young days in the army, even though I'm old now.
For 2 years, Từ Liêm devoted herself to reconnecting with her former comrades. What seemed like an easy task turned out to be a challenge, completing over 500 pages filled mostly with untold stories.
The people in the book are now old and their memory has faded. They are no longer as sharp as they once were. I needed to preserve their story as a gesture to those who have endured so much.
For this cause, many individuals who never wished to speak about themselves can now share their historical role with today's generation.
During the war, young people are everywhere, ready to contribute their strength in response to the co-op party and alcohol.
For the soldiers who have lived through the war, their stories are always filled with emotion, serving as a reminder for today's generation to take pride in the country's heroic traditions.
And now, as usual, let's continue with the weather forecast. And that's it for today's headlines. To rewatch our program, you can log on to VTVgo.vn or download our mobile application VTVgo. Thanks for watching and goodbye for now.